Yeah! Welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps. Only it's one conservative gimp today. Mike Roach is taking some time off from YouTube, so he won't be joining us for a few weeks. And Judy is not feeling well, so Lloyd's not going to be joining us today as well. So he's busy taking care of Judy, so there's no Grumpy Vlogger show tomorrow night. However, I did send out a link to Kai, and he can't make it. So I did send out a link to Doc Murdoch if he would like to join in, and we'll talk about the hot topics of the day. And the big 500-pound gorilla in the room is Elon Musk. Bought Twitter, and the left are losing their flipping minds, man. It is crazy. And all it is it's about freedom of speech and having opposing views on social media. And this is where the dominant liberal media has stifled free speech. And what gets me is why are liberals afraid of free speech? I mean, if their ideas are so great, they shouldn't. They should be able to come on and have a real dialogue with people instead of all this name calling and temper tantrums and the like that. It's just amazing. So Elon Musk was able to scrounge up some investors to buy Twitter for, I believe, $43 billion. And so they're shitting their pants, those liberals. They're shitting their pants. They can't handle it. They think they're saying this is the worst thing for democracy. Actually, a really good thing for democracy is having different sides to an issue to oppose or to propose their ideas. The more ideas that are out there, and people can decide for themselves which one fits their views, and they can't handle it. So it's just crazy. I want to say hello to Doc Murdoch, Chris, Doc Murdoch FPV. Thank you for coming to the show. And Mickey H, welcome to the show. And so hopefully a few more people will jump in and watch the show. I assume Mason will probably come on towards the end. Mason Kaiser, and maybe some of the other regulars will jump in. It's May 1st. This is the liberals' holiday, May Day, and this is when the Soviet Union would have their big parade through Red Square, and I guess the Chinese would have their parade through Tiananmen Square to show off their military might. And speaking of military might, we're going on. We're going into this. We're well into the second month and almost going into the third month of this conflict. It's a frickin' war. They invaded a sovereign nation, and they're not getting anywhere. And Putin is threatening using nuclear weapons. which I think is going to really spiral things out of control, and this is really going to mess things up. Okay, that's fine, Chris. Uh, Enjoy the show, and glad to have you in. So, uh, Ukrainians. Oh boy, the Russians underestimated these people. They thought, yeah, you know, they really thought Ukrainians were a lot like them. Well, in the eastern part of the country, they are uh, very close to them because there are more ethnic Russians that live in that area. But you go further west, they're more aligned to Western Europe. Yeah, because they are so close to Poland and Hungary and boy, that looks screwed up. And if you know anything about World War One history, the western part of Ukraine was part of the Habsburg Empire. It was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Just talk amongst yourselves. Don't mind me. This is what's called being prepared, folks. Got these new headphones a few weeks ago and really like them. The city of Lviv uh, used to be called Lemberg prior to World War One, and I believe that was part of Poland at one time. And so they're more aligned with Central Europe. And Ukrainians, they do speak their own language. It's very similar to Russian, but there are some differences. And you go to the western part of the country, they are Roman Catholic as opposed to Orthodox Catholicism in the East. So that's a little bit of uh, Ukrainian history and geography and culture. So now the Ukrainians are, hey, they're using DJI drones to drop bombs on Russian soldiers. I saw a video last night where there was a drone that was hovering over a car where some Russians jumped in. They thought they were going to make a clean getaway, and the bomb went right through the sunroof and went off, and I believe killed one and seriously injured another. So that was very interesting. And then I saw another one very similar to it where there were a group of Russian soldiers and the bomb landed right near them and killed or very seriously injured one. I mean, these are very tiny bombs. They're about the size of a Coke can and probably don't weigh as much. Very interesting. And uh, they're being supplied with drones from other countries, such as Poland. Turkey is giving them drones. And we're giving them drones, and also we're giving them anti tank missiles called the Javelin, which is really cool because what they do is once it's launched, it heads right towards the tank, and right before it gets there, it goes up and then it drops down right on top of the turret and explodes. And plus, the Ukrainians are getting a hold of some Soviet-style RPGs and taking out tanks. And part of the reason why the Russian tanks are blowing up so easily is because if you look at them, their turret is flatter and it's closer to the chassis. Well, that's because in the infinite wisdom of the Russians to make things cheap and save weight, they decided, oh, we'll take out all the safety precautions so that they're the soldiers inside the tank are like right next to the shells there, because in our tanks, the Abrams tanks, those the ammo is stored in a locker in the back, and it's like a 1-inch thick door that opens up, slides open, and they pull out the shell, and then they ram it into the gun and they fire it. And that's to prevent the soldiers from getting killed from their own ammo. So, and plus that part of the tank has more armor on it and makes it harder for the tank to blow up. So what happens with the Russian tanks? They get hit in the soft spot, and the turret just blows right off the top of that tank. Yep. All right, so let's get back to Twitter. So liberals they're all in a tizzy, and I'm just going to read some of the off the wall comments. Like here's one from Robert Reich. He says, when billionaires like Elon Musk justify their motives by using freedom, beware, they're actually it's freedom from accountability. And this is from David Weissman. I still think Elon Musk owning Twitter is a bad idea. He will amplify racist, bigot, and misinformation. He is a bad faith actor with his distorted views of free speech and censorship. Wow. And this is Addie Gaskell. I hope you won't become a platform for spreading misinformation, as that's not what free speech means. Well, these people actually don't know what free speech is. Free speech is about disseminating different views on an issue. Yeah, some of it is going to be BS. And if people, they're exposed to that, they could, disseminate through the BS and say, you know what, that is crap. I mean, that's why the big three networks in news is going down, because people all are picking up on that, and they know what's going on, that, hey, this is all the same crap. They're just parroting each other. And this is why CNN Plus is about to be, disappear, and MSNBC is in the toilet, and a bunch of other leftist-leaning cable news networks are all in the toilet because people are getting tired of hearing that. And what kills me is why The View is still on. But you gotta remember ABC is part of that woke liberal establishment, and they're just going to keep putting out that crap, and then yeah, they got a following of people that just soak up that garbage and think it's the truth. So, and that is why these folks are afraid of free speech. And uh, Chris Murdoch, you probably remember this. We're approximately the same age, and I remember back in the '60s and early '70s, there was a free speech movement, a bunch of young hooligans who were all about free speech in colleges. And now you can't have free speech on campus. They call it hate speech. You gotta have a safe zone where you get tell your views about things. And I think what needs to be done at these universities, if a conservative gets invited, and if some a-hole doesn't like what this person's going to say, they shouldn't have a right to try to shut this person down. This is what really pisses me off about universities allowing this garbage to happen. When people like Tom Tancred, a former congressman from Colorado, former candidate for president, he gets invited to these colleges, and these liberal idiots, they put up a fuss by throwing bricks through windows, pulling fire alarms, disrupting the speech, and it's like, no, colleges used to be the place where different ideas could be expressed. Now it's all one way. It's all liberal, progressive, Marxist, socialist garbage, and that's all the students will get. And the students start eating up this garbage, and they spew it out into the real world. And they're always talking about follow the science, follow the science. And yet they're talking about all these different genders. No, there are two genders. There's the male and the female. And that's part of your chromosome. And there's no way you could change that. That is science right there. So, a friend of mine down in Florida, I guess a teacher was talking about, oh yeah, 23% of my students, and these are first graders, say that they're transsexual. They're transition. And it's like, what? You mean boys don't like girls and girls don't? Well, that's the way all boys and girls were when they're that young. It's not until fourth or fifth grade that boys start liking girls, girls start liking boys, and that's just part of nature, you know. Yes, you are right, Mickey. And that's why I would like to see uh, university and colleges just get dismantled and purged of these people, and we need state legislatures saying, no, we're going to have uh, equal opportunities for different views to be expressed in universities. That's what universities are are all about. It's about uh, expressing different views, and then the students could decide for themselves which one represents their views the best. Uh, it, it it drives me crazy. So this goes into another topic that Joe Biden, he wants to set up a ministry of disinformation in the Department of Homeland Security. Wow, doesn't that sound like an old Soviet or Nazi? It's a fascist idea, and just this kind of crap. Yeah, you're right, Doc. You're right, Chris. Hmm. Oh, and speaking of the leftists, where the hell is the ACLU? I mean, I remember back in the 70s, they were all about, hey, those white supremacists, they have a right to march in a parade in Skokie, Illinois, which was predominantly Jewish. Where are they? Why aren't they all about free speech now? They are uh, eerily silent. That is because the founders of the ACLU were former communists. They were part of the Communist Workers' Party of America. And they formed ACLU to use our own laws to, you know, turn in upon the law and to use the law against the citizens of the United States. So, and the reason why they're not saying anything right now, as Doc Murdoch would say, is they're they're funded by leftists, and if they were truly about civil liberties, they would say, yeah, conservatives have a right to free speech and to express their views. But yeah, so these wealthy, uh, mostly white liberals with liberal guilt decide, hey, if you're going to defend those, oh, they're racist. Oh, we can't have that. So their funding will dry up. And speaking of groups have disappeared, what happened to Black Lives Matter? They've disappeared. That's because Black Lives Matter was nothing but a big grift. You had a handful of organizers that started this movement, and they got all of this money donated to. What did they do? They bought several mansions for themselves, and now they're in big trouble because of some taxes that they've been evading. So that's what's going on there. So uh, I think BLM is going to go away just like Acorn did. But rest assured, they won't be invisible for long, because this is what always happens, is when a liberal community organization gets shut down for malfeasance and money laundering. They disappear, and all they do is they reorganize and come up with a different name. And it's all the same people, but just a different name, you know? Uh, yeah, you may be right, Mel. Uh, they won't be in trouble or prosecuted in blue states. Now, states like Texas and Florida and Tennessee and Kentucky, that might be a different story. Yep, that could be a whole different story right there. So, uh, okay, here's another uh, piece of brilliance from the left, from Jennifer Marisica. When oligarchs buy communications platform to distribute right wing propaganda, that's not democracy. Oh, yeah. Democracy is, their idea of democracy is only one view and one view only. That sounds pretty fucking fascist to me, you know? Uh, so, what they believe in is fascist Marxism. That's not democracy. You know, it'll get to a point where uh, nobody will have any oh, what's that word I'm looking for? Where oh, right, you know, any choices. There's only going to be one choice. It's going to be down to, well, you could vote for these candidates over here, but they all have the same view. That's not democracy. Yep. So, Mel, welcome to the show, and Chris Wedgeworth, good to see you. Uh, so that's what's going on. So, this whole week, I'm just listening to talk radio and listening to these liberals piss and moan about Elon Musk buying Twitter. However, from what I heard, Donald Trump's been invited to uh, come back to Twitter, but I don't think he will because he's got his own version of Twitter called Truth Social, and I think that's going to fall by the wayside. Just like Parlor and some of the other uh, platforms have sprung up after people have gotten thrown off of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. I mean, this could maybe this pendulum will swing back the other way, and we'll see more opposing views on the different platforms. That's what I'm hoping. Will it happen? Who knows? That might be a long shot. So we've got elections coming up, and speaking of elections, we had a Colorado state representative who was arrested for DUI last week when he went to pick up his kids at a school function. Hold on, folks. And you could see the body cam of his arrest, which is pretty flippin' funny. I mean, it's sad, but I mean, Netflix is also going away. Yep, that's right. Netflix is in the toilet. Their stock has plummeted. Disney, their stock has plummeted too. That's because Disney went on this really weird woke binge. Man, well, Chris, thanks for coming in. You have a good day. I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Arthur Carlson 2. That is my Twitter handle, and I've been with Twitter for several years. Never really did much with it except in the last few months. Hold on, folks. And I use Twitter to promote this channel and the Artco channel. And seems to help a little bit, but I do follow a few conservative talk show hosts like Michael D. Brown, former executive or former head of FEMA and Secretary of Department of Homeland Security under the Bush administration. Ross Kaminsky, libertarian talk show host here in Denver, and Mandy Connell. She's Republican slash libertarian, originally from Florida, was out of Kentucky for many years, out of the Louisville area, and before settling here in Denver about 7 or 8 years ago. But and a few other conservative talk show hosts, and we got Chris from Sunrise Water Media and Jake Sloan also on Twitter and a few others. But yeah, I'm on all the different platforms. I'm on Instagram. I have TikTok, but I haven't posted anything on TikTok as of yet. I just don't know what to put on TikTok. Yeah, you're right. When they a lot of people canceled. I mean, will some people come back? Yep, it's a possibility. But what Musk and the new board, what they're going to do is they're going to make Twitter a private company, so it won't be publicly traded on the market. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But be interesting to see how many leftists start uh, fleeing Twitter. So that'll be interesting. And what else? Oh, Instagram is interesting. I post some stuff on Instagram, mostly my fishing and the art co and some miscellaneous stuff that I'll post on Instagram. Thing about Instagram is, boy, a lot of really good looking women all of a sudden want to follow you. And I must not be big yet because nobody has stolen my emoji or my icon going around saying after in the chat saying, I have a prize for you. Call me at this one WhatsApp number. Yeah. I guess that's happened to Ken Herron and Ken Dono. They've been hit with that. I think they're bots. That's what's going on. I just ignore them. The first time that I saw those, I would just say, "What did I win? What did I win?" And then I don't hear anything. Okay, so anyway, getting back to the state rep who's been arrested. Turns out he is not going to seek re-election. So, what the Democrat Party did is they've already picked their person to replace him, but it's too late for the primary because the ballots have already been printed and they're going to be going out pretty soon. And the primaries are in, I think, late June. So we have early voting. So the end of May, early June, that's when you could fill out your ballot and turn that in. Yeah. Yep. So, so that's interesting how that happened. It's like, come on, you're a state rep. You shouldn't be drinking and driving. That's just stupid, you know? And if you get caught, you should resign right on the spot. And otherwise, you're going to have that body cam footage plastered on the media, and that's going to tank your political career right there. So that's what's happening. And what else is? Oh, I just on a hunch. I looked on Amazon, and I want to share this screen. Hopefully, I could. Yeah, they have these stickers that you could order on Amazon. I've been thinking about getting those. Next time I go to a grocery store and I go to buy milk, I was going to stick one of those stickers on that. Because the price of milk has gone through the flipping roof. I get the 2% milk, and I won't get skim milk. Oh, ugh, that's just watered milk. But 2%, not as bad as skim milk, but it's not heavy like whole milk. Boy, after drinking 2% milk for many years and then trying that whole milk, it just. Oh, and another thing that's gone up besides gas, I went to get some. I was out of Coke. Okay. Normally I get three packs, 12, 12 packs for 11 or $12. So I went over there and it said, oh, 4 pack for I think it was 12, $13. Turns out it was like $5 a, a 12 pack. So more than that because I ended up taking 2 of the cases, 12 packs back, and just getting 2 12 packs. $15 frickin'. You gotta be kidding me. And gas has gone back up again. Now regular unleaded is pretty close to $4 a gallon. It's right at $3.98 a gallon. It's crazy. Oh, and this here's something funny that well, not so funny, that Biden was saying about uh, Western Europe. They're finding alternatives to Russian uh, propane and gas and stuff like that. So he's talking about, oh well, we need to help them into alternative sources of fuel like wind and solar. Oh yeah, this guy doesn't have a flipping clue. I can't wait until November gets here because the Democrats are going to get creamed. They're going to get slaughtered at the polls. And from what I've been seeing on YouTube is we're going to pick up. We're going to get 54 seats in the Senate, and we may pick up 50 seats in the House. Yeah, because there's a record number of Democrats that are not running, that are retiring, and then we got some of the idiot Republicans that have voted for Trump's impeachment. They're not running, and last I heard, Liz Cheney is way behind in her primary, but she's still fundraising a ton of money. So what I did is I donated money to her primary opponent. You know what? I ought to look up who that was. Okay, Cheney's primary challenger is, oh yeah, her name is Hagman. Okay, I'm trying to, Harriet Hagman. Yep. And she has raised over $1.3 million during January, March, first quarter of fundraising. So I'm going to see if I could find her web page, and what I'll do is I'll share that. And here we go. Here is her website, and I would strongly suggest that you folks throw a couple bucks into her campaign. There you go. It is HagmanForWyoming.com. So that's the person you want. Because population of Wyoming is so small. There's only one representative. I mean, it's almost like being a senator, that you're running in a statewide race in Wyoming. So go chip in $10 and let's defeat this idiot Liz Cheney. So now I've been hearing that a lot of these folks have been arrested for the riot at the Capitol. A lot of the charges have been dismissed because, well, they it turns out a bunch of these people were asked to come into the Capitol. I mean, if you look at some of the videos, you'll see police officers saying, "Come on in, go this way, go this way." So, but the Democrats are going to keep that going because they think that's their ace in the hole to prevent them from getting killed in November. They think enough people will say, "Well, see, these people are criminals. You can't vote for them." So that's what's going on. Well, folks, I've been talking for yeah. Let's see if I could bloviate for a few more minutes, and we could turn into 1 hour here. So that's what's been going on. Disney, their stock is tanking. The markets have been going batshit crazy. I think Friday it was down 700 points, and then a couple days prior to that it was down 600. It's like, man, we're losing like 2% of the market uh, in, in in several days this week. Oh God, I don't even look at your 401k. Boy, I'm down like 20K on my 401k since this flipping president took over. Ah, so now I gotta work a few more years to gain back all the money that I've lost because of this idiot president. And he thinks, oh, by God, if we spend more money, that'll get us out of this recession. What? So the feds have increased the interest rates, and now mortgage rates are up over 5% right now. But you know what? That's still pretty darn cheap. But I think before too long, when they start upping the interest rates uh, some more, I think it's going to go up more over 7 or 8% before this is all done. Oh, and then the first quarter GDP has been down to, I think, 1.3%. I mean, we're very close to uh, hitting a recession. And I think, yep, you're right, Mike, Mickey. Yep. So I think what's going to happen is interest rates are going to inch up, and the economy is going to really start slowing down. I think you're going to start seeing uh, unemployment rates. People signing up for unemployment. Those numbers are going to start inching up, and it's just going to get really out of control. It's going to get ugly. Hopefully, it's only going to get bad for a little while, and then we could pull this out. But it all depends on what happens in November. The sad part about it is Biden will still be president unless he does get impeached. But the prospect of having Kamala Harris as president just that scares the living shit out of me. And I don't want that. unless we get. Now, here's another scenario. Uh, Say we win big in November, and we're able to impeach both the president and vice president. Then the new Speaker of the House, which will be a Republican, and please don't let it be Kevin McCarthy. I don't want him to be Speaker of the House. And hopefully we can have someone else beside Mitch McConnell as uh, Speaker of the Senate or leader of the Senate. I don't want to do that. So we're almost close. 1 hour. Yeah. I hope. I'm praying for Judy to have a speedy and full recovery so that Lloyd could come back and I won't have to bloviate for a whole hour. But back when I first started this channel, when it was Art's Place on internet radio, Blog Talk Radio, I did 3 hours on Saturday. Oh man. And it got to a point where I'd do an hour and a half and the rest of it was music. And this is before they would get after you for playing music on Blog Talk Radio. What I would do is I would play some of the local bands' music on my channel because I just ran out of topics to talk about, and but I was able to get some pretty good people on the show, like Ken Buck when he was still district attorney and he was running for U.S. Senate against Michael Bennet, and then I had Mike Kaufman, who was a congressman from Colorado. He was my congressman for a while until he got defeated by Jason Crow. And who else then? Oh, I had Thaddeus McCotter on back in the day. I had a whole bunch of really good guests on that. I need to start doing that on this show. Start getting more guests on this show. So, hope you all have a great Sunday. Take care, and God bless you, and thanks for coming. Have a great Sunday, and next week is Mother's Day. I don't know if I'll do a show then, but you guys take care. God bless you. See you next time. Bye-bye.